What is up, guys? Rick is here, and today we've got some awesome new Destiny 2 stuff to showcase. Now that's because Bungie has just released an entirely new official Destiny 2 trailer, showcasing the competitive multiplayer aspect of the game. This trailer has pretty much what you would expect from a Destiny 2 competitive multiplayer trailer. We've got a lot of Crucible gameplay featuring some sick multi-kills and a lot of Shaxx yelling in the background. So, the trailer, if you slow it down, however, take some screenshots, zoom in a bunch of times, you can see some pretty interesting stuff that was unveiled throughout the gameplay showcased within this trailer. And that's the purpose of this video. We're going to unveil all of the awesome stuff showcased in this trailer, especially those things that you may have missed. And so, let's get started. The very beginning of the trailer starts out with two teams facing off against each other. The first team has nothing super duper interesting. We've got a Haka auto rifle and a Vanguard auto rifle being featured, and whatever shoulder pads that Titan has with the mesh, I'm definitely going to try to get me one of those in Destiny 2. Those things look sweet. Now the other team is a little bit more interesting. Firstly, you can see that two of the players are completely decked out in faction gear, with Future War Cult and New Monarchy clearly represented. The gun of the New Monarchy player is also New Monarchy. We also see the Warlock on the far right wearing definitely very interesting armor. It's got a rainbow sheen to it, but also very interesting is the weapon he's using. A really distinct looking hand cannon. It has the appearance of more of an old school 8-shooter revolver that you'd find in, frankly, modern day as opposed to Destiny. And we're actually going to see this gun or guns similar to this come up later in the trailer as well. And moving on from there, this hunter here is using a very interesting rocket launcher, and that's because it's the exact same style and color schematic as the original Trials of Osiris rocket launcher. Seriously, this thing is an absolute dead ringer. Now, it is likely that this is just a random legendary rocket launcher, but there is a small possibility that this is the Trials rocket launcher that we're seeing right here. Now, right after that, we have something really interesting. A Titan slamming the ground with a sword in the exact same style as the slam attack of the current Young Wolf's Howl exotic sword in Destiny. This could be a glimpse at a new exotic sword in Destiny 2. The attack is certainly out of the ordinary. You can see a flaming effect added to the swing of this sword. Clearly it has some sort of elemental damage when it hits the ground. There also seems to be somewhat of a glowing fire residue when it hits the ground. This is all reminiscent of the Young Wolf's Howl. Perhaps this is the Young Wolf's Howl. It definitely looks similar, and it could be coming back in Destiny 2. However, this is also very likely to just be a completely different sword. In fact, when I really look at the hilt, it does have some differences when compared to the Young Wolf. The very interesting part is that we are seeing so many different swords and sword attacks in these Destiny 2 trailers, and it was said by a Bungie developer not too long ago that there are, quote, many types of swords in Destiny 2. He didn't say that there were a lot of swords, he said there were many different types. So we're likely to have big long swords, katanas, short swords, a bunch of different melee weapon swords doing different things, having different attacks, and that is really exciting, and we see an example of one of them here in Destiny 2. Moving on from there, we have the old school Iron Man helmet, what definitely looks like it, worn by this Titan. It's decked out in a very pungent green camo, but it is still dead orbit camo, as you can see by the symbol on his shoulder, with a sweet, frankly, Russian AK style sniper rifle. We've seen this style of weapon over and over again in Destiny 2 gameplay, but it isn't represented by a foundry as of yet, very interestingly. I wouldn't be surprised if this was a new foundry when Destiny 2 does release. Now moving on from there, we have yet more gameplay. Bungie just loves showing this thing off, of the Dubious Volley exotic rocket launcher. Now the interesting part here is that the projectiles really seem to be void, whereas in a different trailer with this background gameplay you're seeing, the projectiles look to be more arc. At least that's what a lot of people are saying. However, after actually sitting down and editing this video and looking at the gameplay back to back in slow motion, there doesn't appear to be a change. The projectiles have a purple hue to them, indicating potentially void damage. However, the actual, I guess, nozzle of the rocket launcher where the rockets come out of, that has flashes of electricity, indicating arc. So we're just gonna have to wait and see what actual element the Dubious Volley is. However, it is worth noting that even in the beta, weapons had an elemental mod slot, so you could presumably go in and apply different elemental mods to change the elemental damage. Could you also apply those mods to exotics? That's definitely possible. Now moving on from there, we have another exotic weapon shown off. This crazy looking gun has actually been seen before. It's really questionable about what exactly this thing is. It looks to me, honestly, like some sort of sound cannon. Like, that sounds super weird. Maybe sound isn't the best word. Maybe a shockwave cannon would be a better word, because it seems like it just shoots out this very wide projectile, and it certainly takes out all three of these enemies right in front of this player. I can't really see a grenade launcher style projectile being utilized per se. It just looks like, again, it shoots a wide area of effect damage, almost like a shotgun. This could actually be, instead of, you know, being some sort of exotic rocket launcher or grenade launcher, this could be an exotic shotgun even. But also, during this same gameplay clip, we see when the enemies are killed, they all drop crests. This confirms Supremacy as a returning game type in Destiny 2. A lot of things revealed in that couple of second clip. Now moving on from there, we have another exotic weapon shown off. This is very clearly a shotgun, but who the heck knows what its exotic effect actually is? It's very clear that shooting this enemy causes him to disintegrate into an electric bundle of dead. But I don't really know how to describe it, but clearly this thing packs a punch. It's also been seen before in the original gameplay trailer, so we just got more gameplay of it here. This thing looks just, all the exotics in Destiny 2 frankly look really, really cool, and I really want to know more about what the heck this thing is. Now continuing on with the trailer, we have something really, really interesting. Now this isn't another exotic weapon, but during the showcase of the Hunter class, we see the Hunter quickscope a fool right in the face, except for it wasn't in the face. If I slow this down and actually take a screenshot here, you can see that by getting a shoulder shot, frankly, on this enemy, and you can actually see the damage value here, 315, white. A white number value. Now that's important because if that was a critical shot, if that was a precision headshot, it would be yellow. That is the color that distinguishes a precision shot. This is white. So that means that this sniper rifle just took down, as you can see from this screenshot here, a full health, full shielded enemy in a single shot. That's right. One hit kill snipers are absolutely confirmed by this gameplay in Destiny 2. That changes some things. That changes some things hugely in Destiny 2. That is absolutely crazy. I'm sure there's some people absolutely furious by that in the comment section right now, and other people absolutely thrilled because they're going to be getting some sick picks with snipers. It was the case in the beta that the sniper rifle you were able to use there was low damage, and it already packed a punch. It did quite a bit of damage for a body shot. It seems like the high damaging snipers are actually again capable of killing with body shots in Destiny 2. So that's really going to change up PvP. Now just after that outrageous quickscope, we have another very interesting weapon with this hand cannon. This seems to be a first player perspective of that old school 8-shooter style of hand cannon that we saw at the very beginning of this trailer. It definitely looks like some sort of throwback weapon. It looks very different than the current hand cannons in Destiny, and potentially this is an exotic weapon. When you have a weapon that very clearly stands out in comparison to other weapons we've seen so far, it's totally possible that this is some sort of exotic. However, we don't know that for sure, but either way, I want one. Now moving on from there, we have the Warlock shown off here, but there's something very interesting on his back. he is actually wearing an exotic chest piece, it looks like. The giveaway for this being an exotic is certainly the wings on his back, so potentially it could also just be an effect added with gauntlets, but it very much seems like we're seeing an exotic chest piece here. Now this exotic was seen before with this gameplay, but we see it yet again being represented, and it definitely looks pretty sweet. Now moving on from there, we actually get to see what it looks like aiming down sights with the new Coldheart exotic trace rifle. This exotic weapon is currently a pre-order bonus for Destiny 2, but it will be made available for everyone December 5th. Later on, we see that Warlock being taken down by a sniper shot, and when we zoom in on the culprit here, not only is this Titan wearing some pretty sweet armor, but that is a very unique looking sniper rifle, and again it begs the question, is this an exotic? Well, I think so, because this looks like another exotic sniper rifle that we saw in an earlier gameplay trailer just from a third-person perspective. It's got that massive, like, boxy scope on the top of it. It has a glowing strip covering the weapon. They definitely look quite similar. And continuing to the last part of the trailer, we see the hunter going ham with his finger guns, and some of the enemies he kills unveiled some interesting things. Firstly, this Titan is fully camouflaged. Look at this guy. That looks absolutely insane. He's got the full decked out mesh armor that we somewhat saw earlier, all in a green blotchy camo, and this is definitely a really sweet armor set. And this is gonna make any games of Destiny 2 hide and seek really interesting, let's just say that. Now the Warlock that was killed by the finger gun is dropping what appears to be that same style of 8-shooter revolver that we keep seeing. Is this an exotic? Is this one of the different weapons you can get in a certain foundry? It's definitely really cool. This looks a little bit different than the one we saw earlier being used by the hunter. It looks definitely like a different color scheme that could actually be the weapon camos that you can get in Destiny 2, but I definitely wanted to point that out. And so guys, that's it for everything cool that I could find within this trailer. If you found anything really interesting, let me know in the comment section down below. Now I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it informative. Now if you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, be sure to slap that subscribe button. And if you actually want to get notified by new videos, make sure to press the bell beside subscribe. Now if you want to support myself and the channel, check out the official merch linked in the description down below. Speaking of the description down below, you'll also find my Twitter at RickCactus. Give it a follow if you want to keep up to date with the latest channel activity, as well as my Twitch channel, which you can also follow. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.